Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about how to know that you're being roached. Let's explain it a little bit because it's kind of one of those interesting ones. Roaching means that literally the person you're dating is still dating other people. And usually it's not maybe to the extent that maybe your relationship is, but it's kind of like they've never kind of taken themselves off the market either. So they may have, just like roaches, they may have babies, and then they may have teenagers, and then they may have full-grown adults that they're dealing with. So, and each of those relationships could be at a different moment or a different level. And so it's kind of interesting to really do this because the client that really asked me about this heard this term from her boyfriend, and then he kind of further explained, and then she called me and was like, have you ever heard of this? And I'm like, I have never heard of this. So I did some research, and I thought I would do a couple of these videos because she's only the first of many people that have asked me about this over the last few weeks, and I'm like, ooh, interesting. So let's talk about it. Kind of the best part about being roached is that there's signs. And I guarantee you, if you open up your psychic abilities or that gut feeling, it's going to tell you when you're being roached or something's not quite right about the relationship, which is leading into more questions. So kind of the first one is the person that you're chatting with or talking to about starting a relationship or kind of like getting to know them is always kind of not wanting to talk about defining the relationship. They never want to say that, oh, we're boyfriend and girlfriend, or that we're seeing each other, or we're exclusive. They never want to put the name on it. They are going to avoid that like the plague. It's one of those, a lot of times what happens is one partner wants to have that conversation and the other partner doesn't. And it's one of those, I'm not saying all the ones that don't are roaching you. I'm just saying like some people are kind of like, I don't know how to define, what I'm feeling, or I'm not sure how to put those into words. So that can be a little bit different. But it's one of those, usually the other partner is like, I want to be exclusive with this person, but I'm afraid that they're not going to want that from me. And so it's really important to have these conversations early on in a relationship so that you're aware of kind of what they're expecting in a relationship. So having those conversations when they're kind of more open or kind of trying to draw you into the relationship, having conversations about how do they feel about dating? How do they feel about their friends dating? How do they feel about people that cheat or people that don't cheat? Kind of getting like their perspective of everything dated related. And the other thing is to really listen about is kind of like previous people they've dated. So if they were saying, oh, my ex cheated all the time, that's kind of giving you a sign. Or they're always blaming the other person for everything that went wrong in the relationship. That's kind of like every relationship is an equal sign. And so that's kind of really important to kind of keep in mind if they're always putting it off on someone else, or that they won't answer any questions like, so are we dating or are we not dating? Are we doing this, or can I post this out to social media that we're officially dating? Sometimes they will definitely say, oh, no, we'll just keep it, on the low for now, or we don't want to talk about it or anything like that. Or we'll have that conversation next month or next week or whatever else. Like they keep pushing it out further and further. That's kind of a sign that something else is going on. And if you're going to continue in this relationship, you've got to get some answers, because if not, it's going to drive you crazy and they think they're getting away with everything. So kind of the other part is they will cancel plans randomly, or kind of like constantly cancel plans and never rebook them with you. Like, oh, something happened and I'll get back with you in a week or two. Or they don't answer your emails or text messages or whatever it is. They take a long period of time to do that. That's kind of letting you know that they're in another location or another place where they don't feel comfortable in doing that. I will say one of the other ones is they rarely make plans with you in advance. And if they do, like I said, a lot of times they'll cancel them, but they're rarely making those plans in advance. Like, oh, let's do lunch next Wednesday and do this, that, whatever it is. Pay attention to how they are treating you. Are they treating you more like you're my number one choice, or are they treating you more like an option? Are they calling you at the last second and going, hey, my plans fell through, would you like to have dinner tonight? That's kind of some telltale signs that there's something else going on there. So kind of listen to your gut about that. Like I said, kind of getting that reaction within you of, or just saying no, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't feel like I'm, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do last minute dates or whatever it is, because that's letting them know that I'm not going to be on the last choice list. If nothing, everything else breaks up or falls through, those plans fall through, you can always call me and I'll be there for you. That's an important one. I will tell you, they keep you at arm's length. They will contact you when it's convenient for them. They'll text message you, and it could be hours on end that they're contacting you, and then all of a sudden it's like complete silence. And any attempt that you have to kind of like communicate with them again or something else, they'll kind of give you like these weird excuses, like I have to clean up my room, or my mom walked in, or whatever, like kind of like some weird stuff. And that's that gut feeling of like something's not right with this. I will say kind of what the next one is, kind of like attempting to getting to know them better, or kind of like asking about their family or their history, or where'd you graduate from, or what did you do, or whatever else. They are going to be very kind of like standoffish, or don't want to answer the questions, or I went to this college, but they won't tell you that they graduated from there. So it's kind of like they're not giving you the direct information. And they're doing it because they want to keep that side of them so you can't hunt them down. And they may even say like, oh, I'm not on social media. Or if you say, oh my gosh, I'm into TikTok and that's all I love TikTok. They'll be like, oh, I don't like TikTok. And it's one of those, because they want to make sure that whatever platform you're comfortable with, they're not on. And, or they'll have like, names on any of the social platforms that they will have weird names. They're not going to have their name. They're going to have like bizarre names, you know what I'm saying? Like that could be anybody, because that's how they kind of keep things secretive from everybody else. They're not going to use their name. They're going to use some other type of pseudonym, or, Joe Green or something like that, kind of like weird kind of thing. One of them that I looked up not too long ago had Avengers, and a number behind it. So that could be anybody. You don't know. And so you think it's this person, but it's really not. One of the things I would think is really important to kind of understand next is kind of like, if you think you're being roached, how do you deal with that? And kind of one of the things is, it doesn't mean it's acceptable. It means that it's one of those, you need to be very cautious about who you start dating, who you open up to, because you don't want to tell everybody like every secret that you have, kind of keeping yourself kind of like listening to their story and opening up only as far as they are. So that's kind of like that equal sign, opening up only as much as they are. And letting them know early on, like, if you're talking to me, I expect you not to be talking to anybody else. And if you are, then this is over, and stopping it then, because it's one of those, it's kind of like they're still out there chatting people up, or going to the bars or whatever else to see people, and you're not. So make sure that that's the equal sign that you're dealing with. Under letting them know what you expect in a relationship, and not accepting anything less than that. If so many people nowadays, and I have clients of all ages, will tell me that, oh, my boyfriend or girlfriend texts me first thing in the morning, and then I don't talk to them all day. It's one of those, text messaging. I'm old school. I am definitely old school. I would not put up with a text message if my life depended on it. I would be wanting a phone call from that person. I would want to connect to their voice. I would want to be talking to them, kind of understanding more about who they are and what they're wanting out of the relationship all the time, because I would always be like checking and rechecking their energy. I would say it's important to take one step at a time. And one of the best things to do is kind of take sex off the table for a period of time. I'm not saying forever, I'm just saying until you kind of really get to know that person, because you don't want to have any health issues with sleeping around with people and getting different diseases or whatever else before you're ready to get into that relationship with them, or before you even decided who they slept with and who they haven't, or who are they still sleeping with. A lot of times what I've read is getting roached does not necessarily mean that your relationship is doomed. It's up to you what you're willing to put up with or not put up with. And if it's something that you're willing to put up with, then know that you're willing to put up with it. And if you're not, it's important to know that. Roaching can be very harmful to a lot of people because the purpose of dating is kind of being in a relationship with someone else, so you get to know them and they get to know you. But if they're keeping you at a distance, you're not getting to know anybody. Or if, you know what I'm saying, they only contact you when they want a booty call or whatever else, that's not it. Or if they're not wanting to discuss anything about their lives or getting to know them, that's not a relationship. That's really important to understand. Those are kind of the expectations that you should have walking into a relationship. One of the big kind of like what you should be listening to is, what are your expectations for a relationship? You should know that before you step into any relationship. Even texting or having a conversation with someone, you should know what you are going to define as a relationship. And then number 2 on that part would be, when are you choosing to bring sex on the table? When are you actually willing to start that in a relationship? And it shouldn't be right away. And it's up to you how far back you put it. It's up to you to know that basically we need to put this on the table like further out. I would say letting them know your expectations of, like, I expect to be exclusive, even if y'all are just chatting or talking or whatever else. That's really important. One of the expectations I would tell some of my younger clients is, if you're out and dating or whatever else, that you should require protection when that is happening, and then also before that even happens, to get tested for any STDs or anything STIs, so that you are aware of what you're walking into. Because I have had many clients get really, really sick and have many, many issues for long term when they have slept with someone and they realize later on, like, oh my gosh, they had this illness or this disease or this infection in their system. And that could be really important to know before you get that option on the table, before you kind of put that out there, like, let me know what you're all about before this happens. And getting that information, making sure that you're getting that information from a doctor's office or a clinic that you really trust, so that you can make new choices as you kind of start this new relationship with someone new and special. But let's do some angel cards and get us more information about signs that you're being roached. I think this is really important. New love. That's what we're doing when you're starting a relationship with someone. You're doing it because you want to find a new love or a new start in life. You want to bring in that person and get to know them. And if they're not opening up to you and communicating with you of what their wants, needs, and desires are into a relationship, it's not very healthy to begin with. Divine timing. When you get into a relationship, it should be divinely timed that everything kind of works out to your favor and that you get to know the person. And that's something I always ask my angels and guides with, even when I'm meeting a new client. Like, I want to get to know this client's energy all by myself, but I also want your input. I want your input into things that I should be telling them or require telling them, so they get the information from you guys. Romance. We all want to be romanced. But if someone's constantly breaking dates with you or not holding up their end of the agreement of, oh, we're going to go out on a date on Friday or whatever else, and they're not holding that agreement, it's really important to call them on it so that you have the right information. It's really important. Miracles. You can fall in love. I guarantee you, even with people out there doing roaching and so many other things, make sure that you find true love. I ask my angels and guides for that all the time for many of my clients that are looking for true love. They're really looking for someone to love them, and it's out there. You just have to have your own self-esteem or self-awareness or self-acceptance to demand what you deserve. Spiritual growth. It's all about spiritual growth and how you take in energy. And I guarantee you, if you were getting in relationships that are not healthy for you, you're not demanding what you should be demanding. We should all be demanding a great relationship with people that will hold our energy and help us along the way so we can help and love them along the way as well. It's really important that every relationship you're in is an equal sign and it's balanced. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.